Hi, this is um, the discussion on ethical dilemmas um, for ethical issues in intercultural communication. And the topic is taking advantage of situations in intercultural communications. So, with regards to visiting a foreign country and taking pictures, I have personally never experienced taking photographs of someone in another country. However, I think one should, when visiting somewhere, especially in a very culture specific country, for example, in the United States is quote unquote a melting pot. So you're going to have a variety of cultures. However, if you're going somewhere like China or the country that I'm doing my paper on, which is the Caribbean culture of Jamaica, country of Jamaica, I would do the research to find out if people like to have their photographs taken, if it's something that is culturally unacceptable, if they believe that, for example, taking their photograph steals their soul, or even in America, visiting Amish country. When doing research, I found that the majority of the results that came back from the search on do cultures not believe in having their photograph taken, the Amish country, the Amish culture was the majority of the search results. With that being said, my one experience with being told not to photograph something of a human nature was recently I visited the Genghis Khan exhibit here in Atlanta at the Fernbank Museum. And after going through the exhibit, I got to a point where there was a female mummy um, that was a part of the exhibit. And as you walked closer to this particular part in the exhibit, there were many signs up that said, please do not photograph out of respect for human remains. I know a lot of times, especially in African American culture, they do not believe in taking photographs a, a deceased person's body. So I would do the research to find out if particular cultures that I'm going to visit would not want their photographs taken. With regards to bartering with another culture, I think it holds true to when in Rome. As the video on ethical issues in intercultural communication, as I watched the video, and as the gentleman stated that in China, or no, Hong Kong, where he was, that the first um, person in a store is bad luck if they don't buy anything. Now, could that be taken advantage of? Of course. In every situation in the world, someone is going to abuse the system, abuse that custom. 80 cents for a suit, as the gentleman stated, the equivalent of 80 cents to their money. Um, in my view, was being taken care of. But if the shop owner was willing to sell it for that price, he obviously had made contingency, as I'm sure when he bartered with the next person, he's gonna mark it up to make the difference up for the next suit. It happens every day in car sales. Someone sells a car and is a really great negotiator. The next person who buys a car from that salesman is going to make up the difference. So I think it's all a part of human nature and human trade. And if it's a part of the culture to barter, then you go with it. My experience with bartering was many, many moons ago on my honeymoon. Um, we went to the island of Jamaica, specifically Montego Bay, and my husband and I chose to not go to the typical touristy open markets, but we chose to have a waiter there. We paid him $20, which apparently was a big deal in Jamaica for someone to get 20 American dollars to bring us to one of the more local markets, open air markets, and when there, every single person, every vendor there wanted us to visit their booth, and they negotiated and marked down a price, which we knew if you're marking it down that much, then that was actually not what you wanted to sell it for. But it just seemed a part of the culture that everything is bartered and negotiated for. And so you play the game. Um, and if it's a part of the culture, if it's expected, then you do as and run.